Thank you. So we have Duncan Trigg from comScore, Taylor Schreiner from TubeMogul, Pedro Silva from IFABC and IVC, Joe Harden from AAM, and first to start is Duncan Trigg.
Good morning, everybody. So I'm going to take a view as a vendor of verification, and I wanted to talk about the macro level factors involved in the lack of trust as the ecosystem has evolved with programmatic and behavioral targeting, and then take a brief look at how verification can counteract that and its use both in pre-bid scenario and the post-bid and what it means to the market. So if we go back to the beginning of the web in the early days of the portals and when media was bought on destination sites, I remember the days of 2000 when I was at Site, it was expected to send out a screenshot because you knew exactly where your advertising was running. But this, whilst you were buying environments that had indicative audiences, that benefit was counteracted by the waste, if you like, in terms of the indicative audience, the amount you actually reached. But probably just as importantly and less discussed is the wastage in terms of workflow. I remember talking to a very large media agency in 2005, 2006, and at the time, the average planner buyer there was dealing with about 250 buying points. Now, whilst the revenue spend was catching up with TV, it was a far less efficient department because there were up to 10 times as many people to execute. If you then step forward to where we are now with these huge advantages that programmatic has brought, which I think we're all familiar with, contextualization and behavioral targeting and reaching the right audience, that's been coupled with a massive increase in workflow efficiencies. But I think the fact is that the macro level factor there is that the lack of trust stems from the fact that you can now spend tens of thousands of dollars, euros, pounds on a campaign and not actually ever see that ad in situ. And that to me is at the heart of where the lack of transparency, if you like, within digital media in our current market stems from. So this is the point, okay? Verification as a byproduct of the fact that it is looking for viewability, highly sophisticated fraud detection, brand safety environments, it actually produces an environment where we know where exactly every single advertising placement ran. This is a completely different deck.
It looks like the second deck didn't get replaced by the first.
Okay, I can still talk through this. I shall work through. So the components of verification, what are they? There are effectively three core components: brand safety, viewability, and fraud detection. But we at comScore, as George mentioned earlier, also do audience reach. And then we look at the conversion metrics from that. But the point of that is at that heart of what verification delivers is what I like to refer to as the verified impression. Okay? This is the stuff within any given campaign that's actually doing the work. And you can sum it up in a simple sentence. Could the ad have been seen by human eyes in an environment that wasn't harmful to your brand? If you can answer yes to all parts of that sentence, then you're finding the traffic within a campaign that's actually doing the work. So what does it mean in terms of pre-bid and post-bid environment? Okay, because this is a lot of confusion. The capabilities for these vendors within the programmatic ecosystem has driven their adoption in market. But I think it's very important to clarify the difference between what pre-bid capabilities offer and post-bid capabilities offer. So on this side of the thing, this is a very simple schematic to look at what actually happens within the workflow journey, if you like. So what does pre-bid mean? Okay, the time frames involved in pre-bid are very, very limited. 5-6 milliseconds decisions have to be made. So when you're looking at things like fraud detection, all that can be offered in the pre-bid environment is known fraud environments, bot lists, etc. Average viewability rates, the environments to a page level, the kind of view level, or even a slot level, the kind of average viewability rates that are generated. But in addition, you can then start to look at things like page context, keyword capabilities, brand safety. The point here is these are filters that impact on what is actually bid. They protect to a degree, but they don't protect you completely. Going into the auction house, as we've simply called it here, and then the influence on the bids that are delivered, it is in the post-bid environment where verification really kicks in. This is where we're able to look for the very sophisticated fraud detection by marrying tag-level methodology with the trillions of interactions that you're able to analyze. That's where the real protection comes. And it's also an environment, or the stage of the journey, where we can start to look at the actuals, the delivery for, and the amount of viewable impressions that they are. And even, as George referenced in the last presentation, the duration and the quality aspects. And I think going forward, this is going to be a crucial part of trust and viewability and buying metrics, is understanding the tipping point that viewability makes to the effectiveness of the campaign, the creative looping, messaging, etc., etc. But it's by using both of those in conjunctions that it forms a virtuous circle, if you like, of ongoing optimization based on the qualified inventory, because the learnings you get from the post-delivery analytics that verification delivers can then influence on an ongoing basis what you bid against. You'll see on your desk as well that there is a leaflet with regards to the value of the digital ad, and there's a lot more information if you follow the links on there too. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Duncan. And apologies on the slides.
That's right.